Hi everyone, and I want you to imagine this. So, you're sitting in a small room across from a serious looking examiner. Your heart is pounding, your palms are sweaty. You know the answers in your head, but when you open your mouth, nothing comes out. Silence, fear takes over. However, I've never been afraid of speaking English. Not in exams, not in front of native speakers, not even when I make mistakes. Why? Because I speak English every single day. And who do I talk to? Myself. Yes, you heard me right. I speak English every single day to myself. I debate, I argue, I crack jokes, I even give full speeches in front of the mirror. And because I've made English the part of my daily life, it feels natural to me. But I know that for the most of you, speaking English, especially in front of an examiner, might feel terrifying. So today, I want to show you that it doesn't have to be. So fear comes from overthinking, not from lack of knowledge. And let's just be honest right now. Most of you already know English. You know grammar, you understand words, you can read, you can write. But why does fear take over when you try to speak? Because you overthink. When you enter an exam room, you worry about making mistakes, about the words you're gonna say, about what the examiner will think of you. But here's the truth. Examiners expect you to communicate, not to be perfect. Most of the people often say, I'm not confident enough to speak English. But confidence is not something you're born with, it's something you build every day. And what's the best way to build confidence? Of course, to speak. I've never waited for a perfect moment, a perfect conversation partner, or a perfect environment. I've created an environment for myself. And when I started speaking daily, it felt more natural to me. So what I did, I narrate my actions, like now I'm making coffee, or I was talking to myself and asking myself questions about songs, about music and stuff. And the most essential thing I did was answering to an imaginary interview questions. So the more you speak, the more natural it feels. And the more natural it feels, the more confident you become. So when most of the people enter the exam room, they consider examiner as their enemy, someone who's waiting to catch every mistake they make. But that's not true. Examiners are human, and their goal to evaluate the way you can express yourself. So instead of treating an exam like a test where you must be perfect, you should treat it as a conversation. And here's how. So, pause and think. It's okay to take a second before answering. And in my understanding, you don't have to use a lot of complex words and sentences to sound smart and cool. Instead, clarity is more important. And the most essential thing to do, when you forget a word, stop and explain it the other way. So here's the powerful thing I want to tell you. Confidence is not a feeling, but a decision. And when you decide to trust yourself and to speak first, confidence just follows. So it's okay to follow communication, not perfection. And it's okay to continue speaking even though you're making mistakes. And when you do that, English becomes your best friend and not your enemy. So the next time when you're going to be entering the exam room, don't think about, what if I mess up? Instead, you should think, I have something important to say, and I'm going to say it. Because you matter, your voice matters, and your words matter. And the world is wanting to hear them. So just don't be afraid and speak up. And thank you.